I was the only one who made it. Who are you? I said, friendly. Friendly? Who's friendly?
Some came in from me, a drone.
If we didn't follow their orders, they would even resort to killing us.
I am consistently in favor of peace all around the world. One way or another, we're going back.
Don't ever come here again. I'm giving it voluntarily.
I'm doing this voluntarily. I voluntarily give my consent.
For this interview. When I signed the contract, it was on February 14th in the year 2024. Exactly. January 14th, 2026.
January 8th, 2026. On January 8th, 2026.
Why'd you decide to sign? Because of the mobile money. I signed the contract strictly for the money, and that is exactly why I signed it. My wife was against it, but I went anyway. You know, they gave me their word, they'd dismiss all of the charges, but then they gave me 8 years.
Well, I was hoping that if I went, maybe I'd get wounded, they'd discharge me and reduce my sentence. I had 7.5 years left. That's a long time to serve. I broke up with my girlfriend. We split up. I started living a careless lifestyle. Plus, my little sister got into college for beer brewing. I promised her a nice charge.
Well, the guy was on his way to success, but it didn't work out. Just wasn't lucky. Where'd you study? I studied 8 grades at a special needs school. It was all for people with intellectual disabilities. I had a head injury as a child. Because of that, what was the attitude of the command? The command was bad, since we were from the support unit. So, well, not really great. They kept pushing us around. They didn't give us any rest, and they kept us there and beat us. That's what I saw myself. Some of those poor people were even 50 years old or much older. They couldn't even walk on their own anymore, but they were still being cruelly beaten. They said, tomorrow you're going out no matter what. If you can't walk, you'll crawl to the combat mission. So the military command behaved in that same way too. If we didn't follow orders, they would even execute us. If we ever tried to turn around and go back, they would have killed us without a second thought. That is exactly how many men they ended up killing. They would just end their lives right then and there. There were some people who desperately tried to run away from their defensive positions, but if they were eventually caught, they were immediately killed for the crime of abandoning their post. You weren't a medical yet. You ran away. I hired a military lawyer to get me discharged. I didn't want to be part of the conflict anymore. But the military lawyer just kept extending my sick leave, time and time again, repeatedly. I was always sick leave for an entire year, but he simply wasn't able to secure my official discharge. He just couldn't do it. After that, I didn't go back. I was actually just staying at home for about a full year, and then the military police suddenly just picked me up while I was at a store. I was with my child. If I hadn't been with my child, they wouldn't have been able to catch me. I would have just run away. But since I was with my son, they caught me and took me away. What happened to your face?
It got hit by a drone from the Ukrainians. A drone. Well, drones would come in, explode, and one exploded right in front of my face. Tore up my face.
What was the mission? The combat mission was to follow the assigned route and successfully reach the designated checkpoints.
There was only one task, as they explained to us. They drew the route for us on the phone, on the maps, to go all the way to the end of the route to a certain tree line, find some kind of hole, dugout, or bunker there, and hole up and stay put for now. Stay put for now? And what next? No one knows anything yet. So we sat there for a month, hungry, cold, just outside in the winter, just sitting out there. We didn't have any sleeping bags or anything like that. The way we arrived in our body armor, that's how we sat there. With my tuberculosis, maybe it flared up again. Who knows? Nobody knows. I'm coughing, weak again. One guy got frostbite on his feet. I got frostbite on all my feet. We reported to the higher-ups that someone had frostbitten feet. His toes had turned black. They told us to just keep sitting there.
3 of us. I was the only one who made it. The others got taken out by the FPV drones. I managed to hide. They didn't make it in time. That was us? I was an assault trooper. We were moving forward. Well, honestly, they were just killing us. Plain and simple. They just mowed us down. That's it. They cut us down like grass. We just kept moving forward and dying, that's all. How'd you end up captured? We all went into the forest belt, found a dugout. There was absolutely no one there at all. So we cautiously climbed inside and immediately started looking for something to eat. We sat down and then heard voices outside. They shouted, "Who are you?" I said, "We're friendly." Who's friendly? Then they threw a grenade. We suddenly realized that it was Ukrainian soldiers who had arrived to help us. They threw a grenade at us and we were stunned. They said, "Surrender." We said, "We surrender?" And that was it. We came out with our hands up, dropped our rifles, and that was it. We surrendered. I was sitting by the radio, as usual. I could hear gunfire, and then I saw someone throw a grenade. Well, they threw it over to me, to where I was. I started shouting. I said, "Guys, we're friendly. I'm telling you, we're friendly." And then I opened the door. I said that, but then I realized they weren't friendly. I said, "I surrender, guys. We're surrendering." They treated me well. Yeah. They fed me, gave me tea, made me some sandwiches. You know. Good guys.
How about them? Well, at first, it was good that we didn't all get killed. Basically, they smoked us out. My whole face is just burned, all of it. I caught the explosion right in the face. And the other guy too, he was all burned. And then a drone just flew in. At first I didn't get it. I thought people had come, they were shouting. But when we came out, we saw a drone flying and talking, telling us to surrender. We surrendered because there was no other option. Either we would just die from hunger and cold, or we would just be killed.
What would you say to Russians? Well, on the news, they showed that Ukrainians were bombing everything themselves, destroying villages, towns, cities. Yeah. But I saw with my own eyes that it wasn't like that. Yes, but first of all, I want to address the Russian people. For those who want to come here as volunteers, it's better not to come. What they show on the news is a lie. It's not true. I saw it with my own eyes. Don't ever come here again. Do you want to be exchanged?
I don't even know. But honestly,
I'm scared.
like, wait, as they told me at the training ground. Well, actually, I saw it myself. There was a guy there who had already been a prisoner, also disabled, walking with a crutch, and he's still serving. They didn't discharge him or anything. So now I've been taken prisoner. If I'm part of a prisoner exchange, they'll still send me back to those exact same frontline positions, to the very same spot where I surrendered, to continue the killing all over again. But I won't be able to do that. And for me, it's either go to Russia and get a long prison sentence, or, honestly, I think maybe I should stay in Ukraine, see how things go, and at least try to do something useful for Ukraine instead. I think that's better. At the very least, I've seen more humanity from Ukraine now than from what my own army did to me in just a month. Let's just say, as for an exchange,
If they do exchange us, I'd rather go to the camp. At least I'll stay alive there.